You become a leading figure in the competition world. I mean, you worked in a firm which was ultimately a labor law firm. What was it about that firm? The experience? Was it the way they litigated? What was it about the firm that you took with you through your career?
The firm, throughout its existence, sought to use the law to achieve social justice. That was at the heart of what the firm was. So to the extent that we practiced labor law, it was in order to achieve social justice. And so because we were privy to the drafting of the competition law and competition policy, we were privy to some of the workshops that happened and how we wanted to use competition law as another tool to achieve equality, inclusion in the economy of South Africa.
But would I be right in saying we haven't quite seen that same sort of strategic exploitation of competition law in the way that you guys did labor law?
Maybe it's not at the speed we want to, but I think there have been baby steps towards what would be an ideal economy where we have participation, where we have inclusion in the market. But I think we are working towards that. There's been a lot of jurisprudence over time, which you have been part of, and the work of the Commission, I think, has been quite incredible in that way. We don't have 10 years to set precedents on the new amendments. For example, there is an agency, we are in a crisis, our economy is in a crisis, and in order to make sure that the outcomes you're talking about are realized, we're going to have to move a little bit faster. And I think what the Commission did, together with with the Tribunal and the CAC during this COVID crisis, was to show that there is capacity to try and deal with matters as efficiently as possible, to try and deal with the problems we have. And I think if we could learn and use those lessons that were learned in this period to try and implement the amendments, we could deal with the issue that Dr. Simon Roberts raised yesterday of agency, which I think is quite true.
But you are somebody who's actually litigated competition cases on both sides.
The introduction to competition law for me personally was from my experience as a constitutional lawyer. In fact, I think Mundo Mazwai got us to get involved in one of the first challenges to the Competition Act, constitutional challenges in federal mogul. But the other way was through the trade union movement in major proceedings. So what that did for me, Dennis, is that it allowed me to see the operations of the Commission on how they run their own cases, but it also helped me to see myself on the other side when I'm litigating against the Commission.
You were part of the ministerial team which advised Minister Patel with regard to the amendments.
It was an interesting time. The work that we did under the leadership of Michel Leroux was quite helpful in getting us to be here. And I think it was at an appropriate moment. We have had so many years of the implementation of the Act since its inception. And so we needed to look back and see, have we achieved what we needed to achieve? Are there gaps in the legislation to help us achieve what we want to achieve? And it was appropriate that at that time we would have these significant amendments. It is ironic that I now have to come and implement them, but I guess it's also a good moment for someone to come in. And so for me, what the amendment represents is a mandate, a clear mandate on what my role should be at the Commission.
Where does competition law begin and end?
We need to push boundaries, and it is an important thing to do, because we could, in effect, have left competition law or major regulation just within the bounds of consumer welfare but we didn't. We chose a transformative agenda as a country on how we implement competition law. And so in that way, while the law is your parameters, the approach, which should be based on constitutional values, remain. And I think we, as practitioners and as adjudicators, we need to bear that in mind, that we are, and you said it in Walmart, we are using competition law to deal with some of the impact of the past that we've had.